53 motorcycles. Engines cut. The street went dead silent. Marcus Cole stood frozen. 3 days ago, he wrapped a bleeding Hells Angels biker's wounds behind the hospital. 45 seconds. That's all it took. They fired him the next morning, called him a criminal sympathizer, destroyed his career. Now 53 bikers surrounded his house. Their president stepped forward, holding a photograph. Marcus's dead father, in a Hells Angels vest. "Your dad was one of us," the old man said. "We never forget our own." Everything Marcus knew was a lie, and the man who fired him, he killed Marcus's father 30 years ago. Subscribe, stay until the end. Drop your city below. 3:47 a.m. Marcus Cole's coffee had gone cold 2 hours ago. He drank it anyway. 11 years of graveyard shifts, his body still fought him every single night. His radio crackled. Static. Always static. He walked the East Corridor, boot heels echoing off polished floors. 2 nurses passed without looking up. That was fine. He wasn't paid to be noticed. He was paid to make sure rich people slept safe. His phone buzzed. A text from Emma. "Daddy, can we get pancakes tomorrow? The ones with the faces?" He smiled. Typed back, "Absolutely. Sleep tight, bug." "I'm not a bug. I'm a dragon." "Sleep tight, dragon." "Better. Love you, Daddy. Love you more." He pocketed the phone. 9 years old, and she still texted him good night. Every single night, even from Grandma's house. That kid was the only thing he got right. "Cole?" He turned. Nurse Patricia waved him over. "Loading dock cameras acting up again. Maintenance won't touch it till morning." "I'll check it manually. It's freezing out there. Keeps me awake." She shrugged. "Your funeral." Marcus grabbed his flashlight and headed toward the back. St. Vincent Private Hospital, where senators dried out and billionaires bought organs. He'd seen enough in 11 years to write a book. He kept his mouth shut instead. That's what survival looked like. The service door groaned open. December air sliced through his uniform. His breath fogged white. He swept the flashlight across the dock. Pallets, dumpsters, nothing. He was turning back when he heard it. A groan, weak, coming from behind the concrete barrier. His hand went to the radio. "Protocol. Call it in. Wait for backup." The groan came again, wet, pained. Marcus walked toward it. The man was crumpled against the barrier like someone had thrown him there. Motorcycle on its side, front wheel still spinning. Blood pooling black under the dock lights. Marcus's flashlight caught the vest. 3 words, white thread on black leather. Hells Angels. MC, every nerve screamed run. He didn't run. The biker's eyes snapped open. Wild, ready to kill. "Back off." Marcus didn't move. "I said, back off, you're bleeding out." "I've had worse." "Doubt it." The biker tried to stand. His legs buckled. He hit concrete hard, cursing through bloody teeth. Marcus knelt beside him. "Oh, let me see the wound." "Don't touch me. I'm not a cop. Don't care what you are. You'll be dead in 15 minutes. That what you want?" The biker stared at him. Calculating. Looking for the angle. "Why do you give a damn?" Marcus pulled the first aid kit from his belt. "Hell if I know." He didn't wait for permission. Ripped the gauze open. Pressed it hard against the shoulder wound. The biker hissed. Didn't scream. Didn't flinch. "What's your name?" Marcus asked. "Hawk." "Marcus, hold still. You are gonna regret this." "Probably. I mean it. Helping someone like me." "Just shut up and let me work." Hawk almost smiled. Almost. Marcus wrapped the wound tight. Not pretty, but it would hold. "You need a hospital." Hawk laughed. Bitter. "I'm at one. A real one. Emergency room. Stitches." "Not happening." "You could die." "Then I die." Hawk grabbed Marcus's wrist. Grip like steel. "Why aren't you calling the cops?" Marcus met his eyes. "You haven't hurt anyone." "You don't know that." "Have you?" Silence. "That's what I thought." Marcus handed him his thermos. "Water. It's not cold anymore." Hawk drank deep. His hands were steadier now, color coming back. "You got kids?" Marcus blinked. "What?" "Kids. You got any? A daughter? 9. Good kid. The best thing in my life. Hawk nodded slowly. Set down the thermos. Then listen to me. Go back inside. Forget you saw me. Forget this happened. Whatever comes next, you don't know me. We never met. What's coming next? Nothing good. Hawk pushed himself up, swayed, steadied. Thanks for the water. You sure you can ride? I've ridden with worse. He limped to his motorcycle. Every step looked like agony. He didn't stop. The engine roared to life. Hawk looked back once. You're a good man, Marcus. World's gonna punish you for it. Then he was gone, swallowed by darkness. Marcus stood alone in the cold. 45 seconds. That's all it was. 45 seconds that would burn his whole life down. 2 days, Marcus worked his shifts, walked his rounds, drank his cold coffee. Nothing changed. Maybe Hawk was wrong. Maybe it would all just disappear. Monday night, 10 p.m., Marcus swiped his badge at the entrance. Access denied. He tried again. Access denied. The hell by Mr. Cole? He turned. Director Harrison stood behind him. 2 security guards flanking, the kind Marcus didn't recognize, hired muscle, not hospital staff. Harrison's face was stone. Come with me. What's going on? Now, Mr. Cole. They walked through the lobby. Nurses watched, whispered, looked away when Marcus caught their eyes. His stomach dropped. Harrison's office. First time Marcus had ever been inside. Mahogany desk, leather chairs, a view that cost more than Marcus made in 5 years. Sit. Marcus sat. Harrison stayed standing, picked up a remote, pointed it at the wall screen. Recognize this. The footage played, black and white, grainy, loading dock. 2 figures, one bleeding on the ground, one kneeling beside him. Marcus's blood went cold. I can explain. Can you? Harrison's voice could freeze fire. What I see is my head of night security aiding an intruder, a known criminal, a Hells Angels member, on hospital property, where federal judges sleep, where senators recover. He was dying. I couldn't just... You could have called it in. You could have followed protocol. Instead, you played paramedic and let him walk. He wasn't a threat. He's a Hells Angel. They're all threats. Harrison paused the footage. You didn't report this, didn't log it, didn't tell a soul. I made a judgment call. You made a catastrophic mistake. Harrison set down the remote. You're terminated, effective immediately. Marcus shot to his feet. I've been here 11 years. 11 years, not one incident. This is an incident. I gave a man water. I wrapped a bandage. You aided a criminal. He crashed his bike. He wasn't robbing anyone. That's not what the footage shows. Marcus stepped closer. The guards shifted. Play the rest of it. The whole thing, you'll see. I've seen enough. Harrison smiled. The coldest thing Marcus had ever witnessed. The board agrees. Then I'll fight it. Labor board. Lawyers. You'll do nothing. Harrison slid a folder across the desk. Sign this. What is it? Non-disclosure agreement. Sign it, you get 2 weeks severance. Don't sign it, you get nothing. And I personally guarantee no hospital, no security firm, no company in this state touches you. Ever. Marcus stared at the folder. 11 years. Gone. Because he stopped to help a stranger. This is wrong. This is business. Harrison uncapped the pen, held it out. Your choice. Marcus looked at the pen, at Harrison, at the guards ready to drag him out. He grabbed the pen, signed, Smart Man. Harrison took the folder. Badge, uniform. Leave them at the desk. My belongings will be mailed. Marcus removed his badge, the one he'd worn for 11 years, the one that meant something. He set it on the desk. You know what you are, Harrison. Careful. A coward, hiding behind policy because you're too scared to be human. Harrison didn't blink. Goodbye, Mr. Cole. They walked him out the service entrance, like garbage, like something shameful. Morning sun was breaking over the city. Marcus stood on the sidewalk staring at the building he'd protected for a decade. His phone buzzed. Daddy, Grandma's making pancakes, but I told her yours are better. When are you coming? He couldn't answer, couldn't move, couldn't think. How do you tell a 9-year-old that Daddy failed, that Daddy got thrown away for being decent? He started walking, no destination, just moving. He picked Emma up at noon. She flew at him the second she saw him. Daddy! He caught her, held on too tight. Daddy, you're squishing me. Sorry, bug, just missed you. I'm not a bug. Dragon, right, sorry. She pulled back, studied his face. You look sad. Just tired. Did something bad happen? Kids, they always know. He knelt down. I lost my job, sweetheart. She tilted her head. Like when I lost Mr. Buttons? Sort of, but I can't find it again. Oh, she thought about this. Did you do something bad? No, baby. I helped someone who was hurt. That's not bad. No, it's not. Then why'd they take your job? He didn't have an answer. None that made sense. Sometimes people get scared, and scared people do unfair things. Emma hugged him again. Fierce, protective. It's okay, Daddy. I'll share my allowance with you. He laughed. First real one in days. That means everything, Dragon. Can we still get pancakes? We can always get pancakes.
싫었어요.
Week 1. Marcus applied everywhere. Security firms, malls, parking garages, office buildings, warehouses. Every application came back the same. We've decided to pursue other candidates. Harrison had followed through. Word was out. Marcus Cole was poison. Week 2. The bills piled up. Rent, electric, Emma's school supplies, medicine for her grandmother. He sold his watch, the one Sarah gave him on their wedding day, $200 for something priceless. Emma noticed. Daddy, where's Mommy's watch? Somewhere safe, baby. Can I see it? Not right now. She didn't ask again, but her eyes kept drifting to his empty wrist. Something inside him cracked. Friday night, 2 weeks after everything ended, Emma was asleep, glow stars on her ceiling, stuffed dragon under her arm. Marcus sat at the kitchen table. Bills spread out like a losing hand. He'd done the math. 6 weeks, maybe 7, then they'd be on the street. He thought about calling Sarah's family. They had money. They'd offered after the funeral. Pride had said no. Pride was expensive. He reached for his phone. Then he heard it. A rumble. Distant. Growing. Not thunder. Too steady. Too rhythmic. He went to the window. Headlights. Coming down the street. One after another. Motorcycles. Dozens of them. Lining up outside his building. Marcus's heart stopped. They found him. Hawk's people. He grabbed a kitchen knife. Checked the locks. Looked at Emma's door. The engines cut off. All at once. Silence. Heavy. Waiting. A knock. 3 times. Loud. Daddy? Emma's voice. Sleepy. Scared. Stay in your room, baby. What's happening? Just stay there. Don't come out. Another knock. Marcus Cole. A voice like gravel and smoke. We need to talk. Who are you, Basson? Friends of someone you helped. I don't want trouble. Neither do we. Open the door. Marcus gripped the knife tighter. Please, the voice added. That word. Wrong. Unexpected. He looked through the peephole. An old man. Silver beard. Leather vest covered in patches. Behind him an army of bikers. Standing in formation. Silent. This was it. Whatever came next. Marcus opened the door. The silver-bearded man didn't flinch at the knife. You can put that down. If we wanted to hurt you, we wouldn't have knocked. Who are you? Name's Stone, president of the Hells Angels chapter in this city. What do you want? To say thank you, Marcus blinked. What? Hawk told me what you did. Helped him without asking questions, without calling cops, without judgment. Stone's eyes were ancient, tired, knowing. You know how rare that is. I was just being human. Yeah, that's the problem. Nobody's human anymore, not to people like us. Marcus lowered the knife, slightly. Daddy. He spun. Emma stood in the hallway, rabbit clutched to her chest. I told you to stay. I heard talking. She peered around him. Eyes went wide. Are those motorcycle men? Stone knelt down. His leathers creaked. He looked terrifying, a nightmare in chrome and ink, but his voice was soft. Hey there, sweetheart. What's your name? Emma looked at Marcus. He nodded. Emma. Pretty name. I'm Stone. I'm a friend of your daddy. You don't look like his friends. Stone chuckled. No, I don't suppose I do, but your daddy helped someone very important to us. We came to say thank you. Emma studied him hard. Are you good guys or bad guys? Stone smiled, sad, honest. Depends who's asking, but tonight we're the good guys. He stood, looked at Marcus. Can we come in? Just me and Hawk. Others will wait. Marcus hesitated. Emma tugged his hand. It's okay, Daddy. I think they're nice. 9 years old, reading people better than he ever could. Fine, but she stays with me. Wouldn't have it any other way. Stone sat on the couch like he owned it. Hawk stood by the window watching the street. Emma sat on Marcus's lap, rabbit tight against her chest. You got fired, Stone said. How do you know that? We know everything, Marcus. Been watching you 2 weeks. Saw the applications. Saw them turn you down. Saw you sell that watch. Marcus's jaw tightened. You were spying on me, protecting you. Harrison didn't just fire you. He blacklisted you. Called every company in the city. Told them you were a sympathizer, a liability. A sympathizer. Someone who helps criminals. Stone leaned forward. That's what we are to people like him. Not humans. Criminals. Animals. I don't think that. I know you don't. That's why we're here. Hawk turned from the window. You could have let me die. No one would have blamed you. I would have known. And that's everything. Hawk crossed the room, stopped in front of Marcus. You lost your job, your reputation, your future, all because you did what no one else would. I just helped without asking what it can. Hawk's voice cracked, just slightly. You know how long it's been since someone did that for me? Stone reached into his vest. Marcus tensed. Emma gripped tighter. Stone pulled out a photograph. Relax, I'm not armed tonight. He handed it over. Black and white, old, creased. 2 men beside a motorcycle. One was a younger Stone, same eyes, same weight in them. The other was smaller, leaner, grease on his hands. A smile Marcus recognized. A smile he saw in the mirror every day. That's my father. Daniel Cole. Stone's voice went quiet. Best mechanic we ever had. Rode with us from 79 to 86. That's impossible. Marcus's hand shook. My mother said he was an accountant, said he died in a car accident. Your mother lied. The words hit like bullets. She wanted to protect you from this life, from us. Can't blame her for that. Why are you telling me this now? Because you have a right to know who your father was. Stone reached into his vest again, pulled out a set of keys, and because we made him a promise. What promise? That if his blood ever needed us, ever we'd be there. He placed the keys in Marcus's palm. Hawk nearly died 2 weeks ago because of a debt your father settled 30 years back. Some men in this city have long memories, bad ones. What does that mean? It means you're not safe, Marcus. It means your daughter's not safe. Emma looked up. Daddy, Marcus pulled her closer. What are you talking about? Stone stood. The room shrank. Your father didn't die in an accident. He was murdered. The word hung in the air. Poison. Murdered by who? A family, old money, ran this city for decades. Drugs, politicians, judges. Marcus felt the floor tilt. What family? Stone held his gaze. The Harrisons. The name hit like a sledgehammer. Harrison. Director Harrison. The man who fired him. I'm saying be careful, Marcus. Your father made enemies that outlived him. And if they figure out who you are, if they connect the dots, that's why Harrison fired me. Not the footage, not protocol. Maybe, maybe not. But you really think it's coincidence Daniel Cole's son shows up at a hospital run by the family that killed him? Marcus couldn't breathe. How long have you known? We've watched you for years, quietly, from a distance, waiting to see what kind of man you'd become. And Stone almost smiled. 2 weeks ago, you answered that question. Hawk stepped forward. We're not asking you to join us. We're not asking you to become something you're not. But we can't let Daniel Cole's son go down. Not like this. He pointed at the keys. Those open a garage, fully equipped. Your name's already on the deed. Marcus stared at them. I don't understand. Your father taught half our chapter how to wrench. Time we paid it back. Emma tugged Marcus's sleeve. Daddy, what's happening? Marcus looked at his daughter, at the photograph of a father he never knew, at two men who showed up in the middle of the night to repay a 30-year-old debt. I don't know, Dragon. He pulled her close. But I think everything just changed. Stone headed for the door. 9 a.m. tomorrow. Hawk will pick you up. Both of you. Wait, Stone turned. Harrison, the family, what happened to them? After my father, Stone's eyes went dark. We handled it. Handled it how? The men who pulled the trigger, they're gone. Long gone. He paused. But the family survived. Cleaned up. Went legitimate. Built hospitals. Bought politicians. Became untouchable. And now one of them runs St. Vincent. Now you understand why we're worried. Marcus's mind raced. If he knows who I am, then firing you was just the beginning. Stone opened the door. Cold air rushed in. Get some sleep, Marcus. Tomorrow we start fixing what they broke. The bikers mounted their machines. 53-ton engines roared to life, and then they were gone, swallowed by the night. Emma pressed against Marcus's side. Daddy. Yeah, baby, and are we in trouble? He looked down at her, this little girl who trusted him with everything, who believed he could fix anything. Maybe, but we've got help now. The motorcycle men, yeah. Are they really Grandpa's friends? Marcus looked at the photograph. His father's smile, a whole life hidden from him. I think so, Dragon. I think they really are. Emma yawned. Okay, that's good. Yeah, because you need friends, Daddy. You're always alone. Something broke inside him, softly, gently. Not anymore, baby. Not anymore. That night, Marcus sat in the dark kitchen, the photograph on the table, the keys in his hand. His whole life had been built on a lie, his mother's stories, the quiet accountant, the car accident, all of it smoke and mirrors. He grabbed his phone, scrolled to a contact he hadn't called in years. Aunt Ruth, his mother's sister, the one who looked at him like she was seeing a ghost. He dialed. 1 ring, 2. Hello, thin, wary. Ruth, it's Marcus. Silence. I know about Dad. Sharp intake of breath. Marcus, the Hell's Angels. How he really died, all of it. Who told you? Doesn't matter. I need the rest. The rest. What aren't they telling me? What did Mom hide? Long pause. So long Marcus thought she'd hung up. Then a whisper. Your father saved a boy, 12 years old, pulled him from a burning car. I know. Do you know whose car it was? No. Richard Harrison's, the old man, head of the family. Marcus stopped breathing. The boy your father saved, that was Richard Harrison's grandson. What? Your father saved him, and Richard Harrison thanked him by putting 3 bullets in his chest. Why? Because your father saw something he wasn't supposed to see. In that car, evidence of what the Harrisons really were. Ruth's voice cracked. He should have let that boy burn. That's what everyone said. Should have walked away. But he didn't. No, he didn't. Because that's who Daniel Cole was. Couldn't leave anyone behind. Even someone who would destroy him. Marcus's head spun. The boy he saved, the grandson, what happened to him? Ruth was quiet. Ruth, what happened to him? He grew up, took over the family's legitimate businesses, runs a hospital now. The floor dropped out. Harrison, Director Harrison. Marcus, the man who fired me is the boy my father saved. You need to be careful. If he knows who you are, he does. The pieces clicked. That's why he hired me. 11 years ago, he knew the whole time, kept me close, watched me. Marcus listened to me. And when I helped Hawk, when I did exactly what my father would have done, he got rid of you, just like his grandfather got rid of Daniel. Marcus slammed his fist on the table. He's not going to stop, is he? He's a Harrison. They never stop. Then neither will I. Marcus, please. Your mother spent her whole life protecting you from this. She died keeping that secret. Don't throw it away. I'm not throwing anything away. Marcus stood. I'm picking it up. He hung up. The photograph stared back at him. His father's smile. You saved the wrong person, Dad, and he killed you for it. The ghost didn't answer. But tomorrow Marcus would. Marcus didn't sleep. He sat at that kitchen table until the sun crawled through the window. The photograph of his father never left his hand. Every few minutes he'd look at it again, searching for something. Answers, recognition, anything. Daniel Cole, Hell's Angel, murdered for saving a boy who grew up to destroy his son. The universe had a sick sense of humor. At 6 a.m., Emma padded into the kitchen, Rabbit dragging behind her. Daddy, you didn't sleep. I'm fine, Dragon. You always say that when you're not fine. He pulled her onto his lap. When did you get so smart? I was born smart. Mommy said so. His chest tightened. Sarah, gone 4 years now. She never told him either. Never mentioned Daniel Cole was anything but an accountant who died too young. How many people had lied to protect him? Are we still going with the motorcycle men? Marcus looked at his daughter, 9 years old, about to step into a world he didn't understand. Do you want to? Emma thought about it. Serious. That little face scrunched up like she was solving a math problem. I think Grandpa would want us to. Yeah, why's that? Because they're his friends and you're sad. And friends help when you're sad. Marcus kissed her forehead. You're something else, you know that. I know. At exactly 9 a.m., a single engine rumbled outside. Marcus looked through the window. Hawk sat on his motorcycle helmet under his arm, waiting. Ready, Dragon? Emma grabbed her jacket. Ready. They walked outside. The morning air was cold but clean. Hawk nodded at them. Sleep well? No. Didn't think so. Hawk handed Emma a small helmet, pink, glittery. Stone had this made for you. Emma's eyes went huge. For me. For you. She put it on immediately. Too big. Didn't care. She was grinning like Christmas came early. She rides with me, Marcus said. Non-negotiable. Wouldn't have it any other way. Van's around the corner. They walked to a black van parked on the side street. Hawk opened the back. Inside, 2 rows of seats, tinted windows surprisingly clean. Marcus helped Emma in, climbed in after her. Hawk got behind the wheel. 30-minute drive. Relax. And where are we going? You'll see. The van pulled away. Emma pressed her face against the window, watching the city slide past. Marcus watched her, tried to memorize every detail of her face. Whatever came next, she was all that mattered. 20 minutes in, Hawk spoke. You called someone last night. Marcus tensed. You're still watching me. Protection, not surveillance. There's a difference. Doesn't feel like one. Your aunt, Ruth, what did she tell you? Marcus was quiet for a moment. The truth. Which part? All of it. Harrison, the boy into the car, my father saving him and getting killed for it. Hawk nodded slowly. Stone thought you should hear it from family first. Why didn't you just tell me? Because some things need to come from blood. We're your father's brothers. But Ruth, she was there. She remembers the funeral, the lies your mother told to keep you safe. Safe, Marcus laughed, bitter. I worked for Harrison for 11 years. 11 years, Hawk. He knew who I was the whole time. We know. And you didn't warn me, Hawk met his eyes in the rearview mirror. We didn't know until you helped me. Your name's common, Cole. Could be anyone, but when Harrison fired you the speed of it, the way he did it, Stone started digging. That's when the pieces came together. So I was bait. No, you were invisible. Until you weren't. Emma tugged Marcus's sleeve. Daddy, are you fighting? No, baby, just talking. It sounds like fighting. Hawk almost smiled. She's sharp. Too sharp for her own good. The van turned onto an industrial road. Warehouses, old factories. The kind of neighborhood people forgot about. Then one building, different. Fresh paint, clean windows, a sign above the door. Marcus couldn't breathe. Cole's garage. The van stopped. Hawk killed the engine. We're here. Marcus didn't move, just stared at the sign. His name, his father's name, in bold letters, like it belonged there. Daddy, it says our name. I see it, Dragon. Is that ours? He looked at Hawk. Is it? It is now. They got out. The morning sun hit the building, made it glow. Stone stood by the entrance, arms crossed, watching them approach. You came. Didn't have much choice. There's always a choice, Marcus. You made the right one. Stone gestured toward the door. Come inside. See what your father built. Marcus took Emma's hand, walked through the door, and stopped. The garage was spotless, tool racks covering the walls, lifts, workbenches, everything organized, everything new. The smell of fresh paint and motor oil mixed together like some kind of industrial perfume. But what caught his eye was the back wall. Photographs, dozens of them, all featuring the same man, Daniel Cole. Younger in some, older in others, always smiling, always covered in grease, always surrounded by motorcycles and men who looked like they'd ride through hell for him. We've been collecting these for 30 years, Stone said. Every brother who had a photo of Daniel, they sent it, from all over the country, some from overseas. Marcus walked to the wall, touched one of the frames. His father, maybe 25, holding a wrench like a weapon, laughing at something off camera. I don't remember him, Marcus whispered. I was 6 when he died. I have flashes, sounds, the smell of oil, but I don't remember his face. Now you will. Emma squeezed his hand. He looks like you, Daddy. You think so? Same eyes, same smile. She pointed at a photo of Daniel holding a little boy on his shoulders. Is that you? Marcus leaned closer. The little boy was laughing, arms spread wide, flying. Yeah, he said, voice cracking. Yeah, that's me. Stone put a hand on his shoulder. He loved you more than anything, Marcus. Talked about you constantly. Said you were gonna be something special. He was wrong. Was he? Stone turned him around. You helped a stranger bleeding in the dark. You lost everything for it. And you're still standing. That's not weakness. That's Daniel Cole's blood. Marcus wiped his eyes, tried to pull himself together. What do you want from me? Nothing you can't give. That's not an answer. Stone walked toward the back of the garage. Come, there's something else. Marcus followed. Emma bounced alongside, head swiveling at everything. They reached a side room. Stone opened the door. Inside, under a white sheet, something waited. Stone pulled the sheet off. A motorcycle, black and chrome, restored to perfection. Every detail gleaming. Marcus recognized it immediately. From the photographs. His father's bike. We found it in a junkyard 10 years ago, Hawk said. Took us this long to rebuild it. Every part authentic. Every detail exact. This was his, and now it's yours. Marcus touched the handlebars. Cold metal, but somehow warm, like his father's hands were still there. I don't ride. You don't have to. Stone stood beside him. But if you ever want to learn, the offer's open. Emma climbed onto the seat before anyone could stop her. Vroom, vroom, careful dragon. I'm driving to the moon, Daddy. Hawk laughed. First real laugh Marcus had heard from him. She's got spirit. Too much spirit. But Marcus was smiling. First real smile in weeks. Stone clapped his hands. All right, enough sentimentality. You want to know why you're really here? I've been wondering. Your father taught half our chapter how to wrench, engine work, restoration, customization. He was the best. Stone pointed around the garage. This place, it's not charity, it's an investment. Investment in what? In you. Stone pulled a folder from his vest. The deed's in your name. The equipment's paid for. All you need to do is work. I don't know anything about motorcycles. You'll learn. We'll teach you. Every brother who walks through that door can show you something. Why do all this for someone you don't know? Stone was quiet for a moment. When he spoke, his voice was different, softer. Because your father saved my life, Marcus. Not metaphorically, actually saved it. Winter of '84. My bike went down on black ice, slid into a ravine, broke my leg in 3 places. Couldn't move, temperature dropping. I was going to die out there. He paused, let it sink in. Daniel found me, carried me half a mile through the snow, fixed my leg with a belt and 2 branches, rode double with me to the nearest hospital. Stone's jaw tightened. Doctors said another hour and I would have lost the leg. Another 2 hours and I would have been dead. He never told anyone. That wasn't his way. He just did things, never asked for credit, never expected anything back. Marcus looked around the garage, the photographs, the tools, the motorcycle, all of it built on a dead man's legacy. I can't accept this. You can, and you will. Stone pressed the folder into his hands. Not for you, for him, and for her. He nodded at Emma, still pretending to drive the motorcycle. That little girl deserves a future. This gives her one. Marcus opened the folder. Deed, insurance papers, bank account with startup funds. Everything official, everything legal. This is too much. It's not enough, Stone headed for the door. We owed Daniel Cole a debt we could never repay. This is the closest we can get. Don't insult him by refusing. He walked out, left Marcus standing there, holding his future in his hands. Hawk lingered. It's a lot to take in. That's an understatement. Stone doesn't do this for everyone. Hellstone doesn't do this for anyone. You're the first. Lucky me. Hawk stepped closer. He's not telling you everything. Marcus looked up. What do you mean, Harrison, the family? They're not just sitting around waiting. When you disappeared from that hospital, they noticed. People like them always notice. You think they're watching me? I think they never stopped watching you. 11 years, Marcus. They kept you close for a reason. What reason? I don't know, but when Stone says this place is an investment, he means protection too. You're not just learning to fix bikes. You're joining a family that will burn the world down before they let anyone hurt you. Marcus glanced at Emma, still playing, still innocent. And her too. From now on, you're never alone. Stone's orders, someone will always be close. Just in case. In case of what? Hawk's eyes went hard. In case the Harrisons decide 11 years wasn't enough. He walked out too. Marcus stood in the silence. The garage hummed around him, tools waiting to be used, a legacy waiting to be claimed. Emma jumped off the motorcycle. Daddy, can I have a snack? Sure, Dragon, let's find something. He took her hand, walked out into the main garage. Stone and Hawk were talking with 3 other bikers who'd arrived while they were inside. One of them, a massive guy with a beard down to his chest, broke away and walked toward Marcus. You're the Cole kid. That's me. Name's Bear. He stuck out a hand the size of a dinner plate. Your old man taught me everything I know. Fixed my first bike when I was 17. Didn't charge me a dime. Marcus shook his hand. Sounds like him. Best man I ever knew. Present company excluded. Bear looked at Emma. This yours. This is Emma. Hey, Emma, you like motorcycles? Emma nodded. They're loud and cool. Bear laughed. Loud. The whole garage probably heard it. I like this kid already. Another biker approached. Older. Gray ponytail. Tattoos crawling up his neck. Marcus, I'm Preacher. Preacher. Long story. Your father and I used to argue about religion for hours. Never converted him, but damn if he didn't make me think. Preacher smiled. He'd be proud of what you did. Helping Hawk, that's exactly what he would have done. Everyone keeps saying that because it's true. A third biker, younger, maybe 30, nervous energy. I'm Sketch. I never met your dad, but I've heard the stories. Every prospect learns about Daniel Cole. What stories? Sketch looked at the others. You want me to tell him, Stone said. He should know. Sketch took a breath. There's one every new prospect hears. The night Daniel Cole walked into a bar alone. 20 guys inside, rival club. They'd been harassing our chapter for months. Vandalism, threats. One of them broke a brother's jaw. Marcus listened. Emma tugged at his hand, bored, but he held her close. Your father walked in. No backup, no weapon, just him. The whole bar went quiet. What happened? He talked to their president, man to man, for 2 hours. When he walked out, the beef was over. No violence, no blood, just words. I don't understand. Neither did anyone else. But that was Daniel. He could have brought the whole chapter. Could have burned that bar to the ground. Instead, he ended it with respect. Stone spoke up. Your father believed violence was a last resort, not a first option. He was wrong. Sometimes there are people who only understand force. But more often than not, he was right. Marcus looked at the photographs again. His father's smile, the way he stood. Confident but not arrogant. Strong but not cruel. I wish I'd known him. You did, Stone said. For 6 years. And whatever memories you have, however small they matter, they made you who you are. The garage door opened. More bikes rolled in. 5, 10, 15. Men climbed off, all of them wearing patches, all of them looking at Marcus. The word spread, Hawk said. They wanted to meet Daniel's son. One by one they approached, shook his hand, shared a story. Some knew his father well, others only by reputation. But every single one treated Marcus like family. It was overwhelming, suffocating, and somehow exactly what he needed. By noon, the garage was packed. Someone had brought food, sandwiches, chips, drinks. Emma sat on a workbench, eating a peanut butter sandwich, watching everything with wide eyes. Daddy, are all these your friends now? I think so, Dragon. That's a lot of friends. Yeah, it is. Stone appeared beside him. How's you holding up? Honestly, I don't know. Fair enough. Stone handed him a beer. Take a breath. It gets easier. Does it? No, I lied. It gets harder. But you get stronger. Marcus took a long drink. You said Harrison's watching me. He is. What's my move? Right now, nothing. You lay low. You learn. You build something here. Let them wonder what you're doing. And if they come for me, Stone's eyes went cold, then they find out what happens when you mess with our family. A commotion near the door, raised voices. Marcus turned. A man stood at the entrance. Suit, tie, completely out of place. 2 bikers blocked his path. I just want to talk, the man said. I'm not here to cause problems. Marcus recognized him. From the hospital, one of Harrison's assistants. Stone saw Marcus's face change. You know him. He works for Harrison. The garage went silent. Every eye turned to the man in the suit. Stone walked toward him, slow, deliberate. You've got 30 seconds to explain why you're standing in my building. The man swallowed, visibly scared, but he didn't run. I have a message from Director Harrison. So, he wants to meet with Mr. Cole privately to discuss an arrangement. Stone laughed, cold, humorless. Arrangement. He's prepared to offer compensation for the termination, a substantial settlement, in exchange for what? Discretion. Marcus pushed through the crowd. Discretion about what? The man looked at him. About your father, about certain historical matters that might be misinterpreted if made public. Misinterpreted. Marcus stepped closer. You mean the truth? I mean that Director Harrison believes this situation can be resolved quietly, without conflict, if you're willing to listen. Stone grabbed the man's collar, lifted him off his feet. Here's what's going to happen. You're going to walk back to your car, you're going to drive to Harrison, and you're going to tell him that Marcus Cole doesn't take meetings with murderers. I'm just the messenger. Then deliver the message. Stone dropped him. 30 years ago, that family took something from us. They're not taking anything else. The man stumbled back, straightened his tie, tried to recover some dignity. He won't accept that answer. He doesn't have a choice. The man looked at Marcus one more time. You're making a mistake. Wouldn't be my first. The man left. His car peeled away seconds later. The garage stayed quiet, tension thick enough to cut. Emma's voice broke through. Daddy, was that a bad man? Marcus walked to her, picked her up, held her tight. Yeah, baby, that was a bad man. Are you scared? He looked at the room full of bikers, men who'd ridden for hours just to meet him, men who'd protected his father, men who were now protecting him. No, Dragon, I'm not scared. Stone appeared beside them. This changes things. I know. Harrison knows where you are now. He knows you're with us. The clock's ticking. What does that mean? It means we need to move faster. You need to be ready. Ready for what? Stone didn't answer, just looked at him, and Marcus understood. Ready for war. That night, Marcus and Emma stayed in a small apartment above the garage. Clean, simple, safe. Emma fell asleep in minutes, exhausted from the day. Marcus sat by the window, watching the street, thinking. His phone rang, unknown number. He answered. Hello, breathing on the other end. Slow, steady. I know you're with them now, a voice, smooth, controlled. I know what Stone told you, what your aunt told you. Marcus's blood ran cold. Harrison, your father was a good man, Marcus. Misguided but good. He made a choice 30 years ago that cost him everything. Don't make the same mistake. You killed him. Silence. My grandfather made a decision that I've lived with my entire life. I was 12 years old. I didn't pull any triggers. But you knew. I know everything, including how this ends if you keep pushing. Marcus gripped the phone tighter. Is that a threat? It's a fact. Stone thinks he can protect you. He can't, not from what's coming. And what's coming? Judgment, Marcus, for everyone who refuses to let the past stay buried. The line went dead. Marcus stared at the phone, hands shaking. He walked to Emma's bed, watched her sleep. Peaceful, innocent. Whatever came next, he would face it. For her, for his father. For everyone who ever believed that doing the right thing mattered. The war was coming, and Marcus Cole would be ready. Marcus didn't tell Stone about the phone call, not right away. He sat with it for 3 days, turning Harrison's words over in his mind like stones in a tumbler. Judgment. That's what Harrison promised. Judgment for everyone who refused to let the past stay buried. But the past was already walking, already breathing, already standing in a garage with his father's name on the door. On the 4th day, Hawk found him alone in the back room staring at Daniel Cole's motorcycle. You've been quiet. Just thinking. About, Marcus didn't answer. Hawk pulled up a stool, sat down, waited. He called me, Marcus finally said. Harrison, the night we got here. Hawk's expression didn't change. What did he say? That Stone can't protect me, that judgment is coming. And you've been carrying that alone for 3 days. I didn't want to start a war. Hawk laughed, short, bitter. The war started 30 years ago, Marcus. You just didn't know you were in it. So what do? You tell Stone, you let us handle it. Handle it how? Hawk stood up. Come with me. They walked through the garage, past the workbenches, past the brothers who nodded but didn't interrupt. Out the back door to a small courtyard Marcus hadn't noticed before. Stone stood there with Preacher and Bear. They were looking at something spread across a folding table. Papers, photographs, maps. He told you, Stone asked without turning around. Marcus glared at Hawk. You knew. We monitor all calls in and out of this building, security measure. You could have said something. You needed to come to us on your own. Stone finally turned. His eyes were tired, old. Sit down, Marcus. There's more you need to know. Marcus sat. Emma was inside with one of the brothers' wives learning to draw flames on paper. Safe, for now. Stone pushed a photograph across the table. A building. Old. Official looking. This is Harrison Medical Group's headquarters. Richard Harrison built it in 1972. 4 years later, he was running half the drug trade on the eastern seaboard. I thought the family went legitimate. They cleaned up the surface. Underneath, Stone tapped the photo. Still dirty. Different methods, same game. Preacher spoke up. They don't move product anymore. Too risky. Now they move money. Shell companies, offshore accounts, insurance fraud on a scale you wouldn't believe. How do you know this? Because your father knew it. Stone slid another photograph across. Daniel Cole standing outside that same building. He documented everything. Names, dates, transactions. Kept it hidden for years. Marcus's heart pounded. That's the problem. We don't know. He never told anyone. Said it was his insurance policy. If anything happened to him, the truth would come out. But it didn't. No, it didn't. Stone's jaw tightened. After he died, we searched everywhere. His apartment, his storage unit, every place he ever mentioned. Nothing. So Harrison won. Harrison thinks he won, but he's been nervous for 30 years, always looking over his shoulder. Why do you think he kept you close, hired you at his hospital? Marcus understood. He thought I knew where it was. He thought you might lead him to it. 11 years of watching, waiting, and you never gave him anything because you didn't know anything. But now you're here with us, and Harrison's scared we're going to find what Daniel hid. Bear leaned forward. That's why he sent the suit. That's why he called you. He's rattled. Marcus looked at the photographs. His father, a building full of secrets. a family that killed to keep them buried. What if I can find it? Stone studied him. What do you mean, the insurance policy? Whatever my father hid. What if I can find it? We've looked everywhere. You looked where a Hell's Angel would hide something. But my father wasn't just a Hell's Angel. Marcus stood up. He was a father. He was a husband. He had a life outside this club. Hawk exchanged glances with Stone. Go on. My mother kept everything. Every photo, every letter, every piece of paper my father ever touched. After she died, it all went to my Aunt Ruth. We talked to Ruth after Daniel died. She didn't know anything. She didn't know she knew anything. But if my father was as smart as you say, he wouldn't leave his insurance with a Hell's Angel. He'd leave it with someone who'd never be suspected. Stone's eyes widened. Family. Family. For a moment, no one spoke. Then Stone grabbed his keys. Let's go. Ruth lived 40 minutes outside the city, small house, overgrown yard, the kind of place that looked like time forgot it. Marcus knocked, waited, knocked again. The door opened. Ruth stood there in a bathrobe, coffee in hand, surprised. Marcus, what are you? She saw Hawk and Stone behind him. Her face went white. Oh, God. We need to talk, Ruth. No, absolutely not. I told you everything on the phone. I'm not getting involved in. You're already involved. Marcus stepped closer. Harrison called me. He threatened me. He threatened Emma. Whatever you have that belonged to my father, I need it. Ruth's hand trembled. Coffee sloshed over the rim. I don't have anything. You have everything. Mom's boxes, the stuff from the storage unit. Where is it? Marcus, please. Your mother made me promise. My mother's dead. My father's dead. And if I don't find what Harrison's looking for, Emma, and I will be dead too. Ruth stared at him, tears forming. I never opened the boxes. Your mother begged me not to, said it was better not to know. Where are they? She pointed toward the back of the house. Basement, behind the water heater. I haven't touched them in 20 years. Marcus was already moving. The basement was dark, damp, smelled like mold and forgotten memories. Stone and Hawk followed him down flashlights, cutting through the shadows. Behind the water heater, 3 cardboard boxes, covered in dust, sealed with tape that had yellowed with age. Marcus ripped open the first one. Clothes, his father's old shirts. The smell hit him like a fist oil and leather and something that might have been cologne. He pushed through. Nothing. Second box, photographs, dozens of them. His parents' wedding, baby pictures, a life documented in Kodak moments. At the bottom, a thick envelope, sealed. Marcus tore it open. Documents, pages and pages of them. Bank statements, transaction records, names he didn't recognize, amounts that made his head spin. And photographs, men in suits, handshakes, exchanges. One photo stopped him cold. Richard Harrison, the old man, shaking hands with a man Marcus recognized from news reports, a senator who'd served 30 years before going to prison for corruption. On the back in his father's handwriting, proof of payment, October 1985. Holy hell, Hawk whispered. Stone took the papers, flipped through them. His hands were shaking. This is everything. Everything Harrison's family has been hiding for decades. Enough to destroy them. Enough to put them away for life, maybe longer. Marcus looked at the third box, hadn't opened it yet. Something told him to wait. Something told him there was more. He lifted the lid. Inside, wrapped in cloth, a single item. A gun. And beneath it, a letter. Marcus picked up the letter. His father's handwriting. Addressed to him. Marcus, if you're reading this, I'm gone and you're in trouble. I'm sorry, son. I never wanted this life to touch you. But some debts can't be outrun. His hands trembled. The papers in this box will destroy the Harrisons. Use them if you have to. But be careful. These people don't lose quietly. They burn everything down on their way out. Marcus kept reading. The gun belonged to your grandfather. It's never been fired. I kept it as a reminder that sometimes violence is necessary, but only sometimes, only when there's no other choice. I don't know what kind of man you have become, but if you're anything like your mother, you're kind. If you're anything like me, you're stubborn. Be both. The world needs people who are kind enough to help and stubborn enough to fight. I love you, son. I always will. Whatever happens next, know that I'm proud of you. Your father, Daniel. Marcus couldn't breathe. 30 years. This letter had been waiting 30 years for him to find it. Stone put a hand on his shoulder. He knew. Somehow he knew you'd be the one to find it. What do we do now? Now, Stone gathered the documents carefully. Now we plan. They drove back to the garage in silence. Marcus held the letter against his chest the entire way. Emma was asleep when they arrived, curled up on a couch in the office with her rabbit. He didn't wake her, just watched her breathe. In, out, in, out. His daughter, his whole world. Whatever came next, he would protect her. No matter the kid. Stone called a meeting. Every brother in the chapter. 37 men crowded into the garage as the sun went down. We have what we need, Stone announced. Documents that prove the Harrison family has been running criminal operations for over 40 years. Fraud, bribery, murder. Murmurs rippled through the crowd. This information is dangerous. The moment Harrison knows we have it, he'll move. Hard and fast. Preacher spoke up. So we move first. No, Stone held up a hand. We don't start wars we can't finish. Harrison has connections. Police, politicians, judges. If we hit him head on, we lose. Then what's the play? Stone looked at Marcus. We use his own weapons against him. Marcus stepped forward. He'd been thinking about this since they left Ruth's house. Harrison's afraid. He's been afraid for 30 years. That fear is his weakness. How do we exploit it? We don't release everything at once. We leak pieces, slowly. Make him paranoid. Make him make mistakes. Bear nodded. Death by 1,000 cuts. Exactly. And while he's bleeding, we build our case. Find witnesses, connect dots, make it airtight. Stone smiled. First real smile Marcus had seen from him. Your father would have said the same thing. Maybe that's the point. The plan came together over the next week. Hawk had connections in media. Nothing major, a local journalist who'd been trying to expose corruption for years without success. They fed her the first piece, small, a single transaction that linked Harrison Medical Group to a shell company in the Caymans. The story ran on a Tuesday. By Wednesday, Harrison Medical Group's stock had dropped 3%. By Thursday, Marcus received another phone call. You think you're clever. Harrison's voice was ice. I think I'm my father's son. This won't end how you think. Maybe, but at least it'll end. What do you want, Marcus? Money? The settlement offer still stands. Double it. Triple it. Name your price. There is no price. There's only the truth. Silence. Then Harrison laughed. Low, dangerous. Your father said the same thing. Look where it got him. My father died protecting his family. I'll do the same. Your family? Harrison's voice sharpened. That daughter of yours, Emma Wright, sweet girl, draws pictures, goes to Lincoln Elementary, 3rd grade, Miss Patterson's class. Marcus's blood turned to acid. If you touch her, I'm not touching anyone, I'm just observing, like I observed you for 11 years, like I observed your father before that. This conversation is over. It's over when I say it's over. Harrison paused. I gave you a chance, Marcus. Remember that. Whatever happens next, you chose this. The line went dead. Marcus was already running. He burst into the office where Emma was coloring. She looked up startled. Daddy? He grabbed her, held her so tight she squeaked. You're squishing me. Sorry. He loosened his grip, didn't let go. We need to move, baby. Right now. Where are we going? Somewhere safe. Stone appeared in the doorway. He'd heard everything. Take my truck. Hawk will drive. I know a place upstate. Cabin. Off the grid. No one will find you there. What about you? We're staying, finishing what your father started. I can't run Stone, not from this. You're not running. You're protecting your daughter. That's what fathers do. Emma tugged his sleeve. Daddy, what's happening? You're scaring me. He knelt down, met her eyes, those big trusting eyes that believed he could fix anything. Remember how I told you some people are bad? She nodded. A bad person wants to hurt us, so we have to go somewhere they can't find us, just for a little while. Are the motorcycle men coming? Some of them. Hawk's coming. He'll keep us safe. Emma thought about this. What about Stone? Stone has to stay here. He has important work to do. Is he going to fight the bad people? Yes, baby, he's going to fight the bad people. Emma looked at Stone. That little face went serious. Adult. Too adult for 9 years old. You have to win, Mr. Stone. Promise. Stone knelt down to her level. I promise, little dragon. We're going to win. She hugged him. Stone closed his eyes. Something cracked in that old warrior's face. Just for a second. Then it was gone. 15 minutes later, Marcus and Emma were in Stone's truck heading north. Hawk drove. Bear followed in another vehicle. 2 more brothers brought up the rear. Emma fell asleep within an hour. Head against Mary Marcus's shoulder, completely trusting. Hawk checked the rearview mirror. We're clear. You sure? I'm sure. He glanced at Marcus. Harrison's not stupid. He won't move tonight. He's waiting to see what we do next. And what are we doing next? Disappearing for now. Let him stew. Let the pressure build. And then Hawk's jaw tightened. Then we end it. They drove through the night, through small towns and empty highways, through darkness so thick the headlights seemed to push against it. Around midnight, Marcus's phone buzzed. Text from Stone. Second leak went live. Another 3% drop. Harrison's calling the emergency board meetings. Marcus smiled. Small. Grim. The 1,000 cuts had begun. 3 hours later they arrived. A cabin in the mountains, wood and stone. No neighbors for miles. The kind of place that didn't exist on any map. Marcus carried Emma inside. She barely stirred, just mumbled something about dragons and went back to sleep. He laid her on a bed in the back room, covered her with a thick blanket, stood there watching her for a long moment. His little girl, in the middle of nowhere, hiding from monsters in suits. How did it come to this? Hawk appeared in the doorway. You should sleep too. Can't. Try. Tomorrow's going to be long. Tomorrow. What's happening tomorrow? Stone's moving to phase 2. Bigger leak. Harrison's going to feel it. Marcus turned away from Emma. I should be there. You should be here, protecting her. That's your job. Let us do ours. Marcus wanted to argue. Every fiber of his being wanted to be in that garage fighting alongside men who barely knew him, but treated him like blood. But Emma was more important. She'd always be more important. Wake me if anything changes. Will do. Marcus found a couch in the living room, old, worn, probably older than him. He lay down, stared at the ceiling, and waited for sleep that wouldn't come. His father's letter sat in his pocket. He'd read it 100 times since finding it, every word memorized. Be kind, be stubborn. The world needs both. That's what Daniel Cole believed, that kindness and stubbornness could coexist, that you could help people and fight for them at the same time. Marcus had spent his whole life being kind, helping people, never asking for anything back. Now it was time to be stubborn. Around 4 a.m., his phone rang. Stone. It's done. What's done? Phase 2, we released the documents connecting Harrison to the senator. It's everywhere. National news picked it up. Marcus sat up. Already, corruption sells. And this is the kind of story journalists dream about. Hidden documents, murder conspiracy, a family dynasty built on crime. What's Harrison doing? Nothing yet. Radio silence. But his lawyers are working overtime. And his stock, Stone, actually laughed. Down 12% in after-hours trading. He's going to retaliate. We're ready. Are you silence? Then your father prepared for this war 30 years ago. He just didn't live to fight it. We're finishing what he started, Marcus. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes, Marcus repeated. Get some rest. Tomorrow, the real battle begins. The call ended. Marcus walked to Emma's room, watched her sleep, innocent, unaware. He made a silent vow. No matter what happened, she would never know the darkness that surrounded them. She would grow up believing in heroes and dragons and good triumphing over evil. And if Marcus had to become a monster to protect her, so be it. Some prices were worth paying. Dawn came cold and gray. Emma woke up confused but adaptable. Kids were like that. They bent where adults would break. Is this a vacation, Daddy? Sort of. Are there other kids here? No, baby. Just us. Oh. She thought about this. Can we make pancakes? Marcus smiled. Let's see what we've got. They found supplies in the kitchen. Flour, eggs, milk. Someone had stocked the place recently. He didn't ask who. They made pancakes together. Messy, lopsided, perfect. Emma ate 3. These are better than Grandma's. Don't tell her that. I won't. She paused fork halfway to her mouth. Daddy. Yeah, dragon. Are we ever going home? The question hit like a punch. Marcus set down his coffee. Of course we are. When soon? As soon as it's safe. Why isn't it safe now? Because a man I saved when I was barely 18 grew up to destroy my father and now wants to destroy me. Because I helped a bleeding stranger in the dark and it cost me everything. Because kindness has a price and I'm still paying it. Because sometimes bad things happen, he said instead, and good people have to hide until the bad things pass. Emma nodded, accepted it, because she was 9 and her daddy was still her hero, and heroes always fix things eventually. God, he hoped that was true. Hawk came in as they finished breakfast. Turn on the TV. Marcus found the remote, flicked through channels until he found a news station. Harrison's face filled the screen. He was standing outside St. Vincent Hospital, surrounded by microphones and cameras. His expression was calm, controlled. The face of a man who'd been lying his whole life. These allegations are baseless fabrications, Harrison was saying, clearly designed to damage our reputation and destabilize our organization. We will pursue every legal avenue to identify the source of these malicious documents. A reporter shouted, Director Harrison, can you explain the transaction records linking your family to offshore accounts? Those records are forgeries. Our legal team is already working with authorities to prove their illegitimacy. What about the photograph showing your grandfather with convicted Senator Morrison? Harrison's mask slipped, just for a second. My grandfather knew many people. A photograph proves nothing. Sir, witnesses have come forward, claiming no more questions. Harrison turned and walked back into the hospital. His assistants formed a wall behind him. The broadcast cut back to the studio, analysts debating, speculation running wild. Marcus turned off the TV. Witnesses, he asked Hawk. What witnesses? Hawk smiled. Stone's been busy. People who've been afraid to talk for decades, they're talking now. The dam's breaking. Harrison's going to get desperate. He already is. That press conference, that was panic. A man in control doesn't hold press conferences at 7 a.m. Emma tugged Marcus's sleeve. Daddy, was that the bad man? He looked at Harrison's face frozen on the screen as the TV powered down. Yeah, baby, that was the bad man. He looked scared. Out of the mouths of babes. He is scared, dragon. He's very, very scared. Emma nodded seriously. Good. Scared people make mistakes. You told me that. Marcus blinked. When did I tell you that? When I was scared of the math test. You said scared people make mistakes, so I shouldn't be scared. He pulled her into a hug. You're too smart for your own good. I know. The day passed slowly. Marcus taught Emma to play cards. They explored the cabin, found a creek nearby, and spent an hour throwing rocks into the water. Normal things, safe things, things that felt stolen from another life. Around sunset, Stone called. We have a problem. Marcus stepped away from Emma. What kind of problem? Harrison's not just playing defense, he's hired people. What people? The kind that make problems disappear. Marcus's stomach dropped. How do you know? Because one of them used to work for us. Marcus gripped the phone so hard his knuckles went white. What do you mean used to work for us? Stone's voice was heavy. His name's Victor Crane. Rode with us 15 years ago. Got kicked out for crossing lines we don't cross. What kind of lines? The kind that put innocent people in the ground. Stone paused. He's a ghost now. Works for whoever pays the most. And right now Harrison's paying. How do you know he's involved? Because he called me 20 minutes ago. Marcus's blood went cold. He called you. Said he wanted to give us a chance to walk away. Said Harrison's offering him 7 figures to end this. Said he'd rather not kill old brothers, but money's money. And you believe him. I believe Victor Crane is the most dangerous man I've ever met, and I believe Harrison just gave him a target. Marcus looked at Emma through the window. She was stacking rocks between the creek, talking to herself, lost in her own little world. He knows where I am. Not yet, but he'll find out. Victor always finds out. How long do I have? Maybe 48 hours, maybe less. Then I need to move. No. Stone's voice sharpened. You stay where you are. Hawk and Bear are there. More brothers are on the way. We're bringing the fight to Victor before he brings it to you. Stone. This isn't a discussion, Marcus. You're Daniel's son. You're under our protection, and we don't lose our own. The call ended. Marcus stood there, phone in hand, watching his daughter play by the water. 9 years old, innocent, unaware that a killer was hunting them. Hawk appeared beside him. I heard. How much enough? Victor Crane. Hawk's jaw tightened. I was there when we voted him out. He begged to stay, said the club was his family. Stone looked him in the eye and told him family doesn't murder children. Children? A job went wrong, collateral damage. A 6-year-old girl. Hawk's voice dropped. Victor didn't even flinch. Said it was necessary. Marcus felt sick. And now he's coming for us. He's coming for all of us. But you and Emma, you're the leverage. Harrison knows if he takes you out, Stone breaks. I can't let that happen. You won't. Hawk pulled a gun from his jacket, held it out. You know how to use one of these? Marcus stared at the weapon. Cold, black, heavy. My father left me one, in the box with the documents. This isn't about inheritance. This is about survival. Do you know how to use it? I've never fired a gun in my life. Then you learn. Tonight. Emma came running up, hands muddy, smile wide. Daddy, I found a frog, a real frog. Can I keep him? Marcus forced a smile. Frogs belong in the wild dragon, but you can visit him tomorrow. Promise, promise. She ran back to the creek. Still innocent, still trusting. Hawk watched her go. She's strong, like her father. She shouldn't have to be strong. She should be worried about homework and cartoons, not running from killers. Life doesn't ask what we should be worried about. It just throws punches. Hawk pressed the gun into Marcus's hand. Tonight, after she's asleep. I'll teach you everything you need to know. Marcus looked at the gun, felt its weight. His father's letter echoed in his mind. Sometimes violence is necessary, but only sometimes. Only when there's no other choice. Was this that moment? He closed his fingers round the grip. Tonight. The lesson started at midnight. Emma was asleep in the back room, door closed, Bear sitting guard outside. Marcus followed Hawk to a clearing behind the cabin, away from the house where the sound wouldn't carry. Hawk set up makeshift targets, pintos, bottles, an old piece of plywood. First rule, Hawk said, a gun is always loaded, even when it's not. You treat it like it can kill someone every second of every day. Got it. Second rule, never point it at anything you're not willing to destroy. Not as a joke, not as a warning, never. Understood. Third rule, know what's behind your target. Bullets don't stop when you want them to. Marcus nodded. Hawk handed him the weapon. This is a Glock 19, standard. Reliable. Point and shoot. No safety to worry about, just pull the bound trigger. Marcus held it up, aimed at one of the cans. His hands were shaking. Breathe, Hawk said. Slow, steady. The gun's not your enemy. Your nerves are. Marcus took a breath, let it out, squeezed the trigger. The shot cracked through the night. The can didn't move. Again, he fired. Missed. Again, missed. Your stance is wrong. Feet shoulder width apart. Lean into it. The recoil's going to push you back. Fight it. Marcus adjusted. Fired again. The can flew off the stump. Better. Again. They practiced for an hour, then 2. By the time they stopped, Marcus's hands were raw and his ears were ringing, but he could hit a target at 20 feet. You're not a marksman, Hawk said, but you won't shoot yourself in the foot. Encouraging. It's honest. Victor Crane's been killing people since before you were born. If it comes down to a gunfight, you lose. Well, then what's the point of this? The point is options. Maybe you never fire a shot. Maybe you do. Either way, you're not helpless anymore. They walked back to the cabin in silence. Bear met them at the door. All quiet. All quiet. She didn't wake up. Slept through the whole thing. Bear handed Marcus a cup of coffee. Stone called again. Victor's on the move. We're south toward the city. He's gathering intel, talking to people who might know where you are. How long until he finds us? Bear looked at Hawk. Something passed between them. Less than we thought. Stone's contact says Victor's already narrowed it down to 3 possible locations. This cabin's one of them. Marcus's stomach dropped. We need to move. Can't. Roads are watched. Victor's got people everywhere. If we run, they'll intercept us before we get 10 miles. So we're trapped. We're defended. Bear cracked his knuckles. 20 brothers are on their way. They'll be here by dawn. Anyone comes through those trees, they're walking into a war. What about Emma? She stays inside, with you, no matter what happens. Marcus looked at the gun in his hand, then at the room where his daughter slept. I won't let anything happen to Gwen. We know. Hawk put a hand on his shoulder. That's why we're here. Dawn came with engines. Marcus watched through the window as motorcycles rolled up the dirt road. 5, 10, 20. Men climbing off, gathering weapons, taking positions around the cabin. Emma woke to the sound, ran to the window, eyes huge. Daddy, there's so many. They're friends, Dragon. They came to help. Help with what? Remember the bad people? She nodded seriously. They might try to find us, so our friends came to make sure they can't. Emma studied the bikers, armed, grim, looking like an army. They look scary. They're only scary to bad people. To us, they're heroes. She considered this. Like you. His heart cracked. I'm not a hero, baby. Yes, you are. You helped the motorcycle man when he was hurt. That's what heroes do. Out of the mouths of babes. Again. Stone's truck arrived last. He climbed out looking older than Marcus had ever seen him. Tired, worn, but his eyes burned with purpose. He walked into the cabin without knocking. Victor's close. How close? He'll hit one of the 3 locations today. If we're lucky, it's not this one first. And if we're not lucky, Stone pulled a rifle from his bag. Then we make sure he regrets coming. The morning passed in tense silence. Brothers patrolled the perimeter. Emma colored in the packed room, blissfully unaware of the war brewing around her. Marcus couldn't sit still. He paced, checked windows, cleaned the gun Hawk gave him even though it was already clean. Stone found him around noon. You're going to wear a hole in the floor. I can't just wait. That's exactly what you have to do. Patience wins wars, Marcus, not panic. Easy for you to say, your daughter's not in the crossfire. Stone's expression flickered. Something raw, old. I had a daughter once. Marcus stopped pacing. She was 7, beautiful, smart, looked just like her mother. Stone's voice went quiet. Victor Crane killed her. The words hit like bullets. What? 20 years ago, the job that got him kicked out. The 6-year-old girl Hawk mentioned. Stone's jaw tightened. That was my daughter, my Sarah. Marcus couldn't speak. She was in the wrong place at the wrong time. Victor was supposed to hit a warehouse. She was playing in the yard next door. He didn't check, didn't care. Stone, I had no idea. Nobody does. I don't talk about it. Stone met his eyes. But you need to understand something. This isn't just about protecting you. This is about finishing what should have ended 20 years ago. Victor Crane has a debt to pay, and I'm collecting. Why didn't you kill him when he got kicked out? I tried. He disappeared, went underground, changed his name, his face, everything. By the time I found him again, he was working for people who made him untouchable. Stone's hands curled into fists. Harrison just made him touchable again. This is personal. Everything's personal. That's what family means. A shout from outside. Both men spun. Bear ran in. Contact. North Ridge. 3 vehicles. Stone grabbed his rifle. How many? Can't tell yet. At least a dozen. Victor, probably. Stone turned to Marcus. Take Emma. Back room. Lock the door. Don't come out until I tell you. I can help. You can protect your daughter. That's your bob. Let us do ours. Marcus wanted to argue. Every instinct screamed to fight. But Emma's face flashed through his mind. Her smile. Her trust. He ran to the back room. Dragon, we need to stay in here for a while. Emma looked up from her coloring. Why? Because Daddy said so. Is it the bad people? Our friends are going to handle it. We just need to stay quiet, okay? She nodded, set down her crayons, climbed onto the bed and pulled her rabbit close. Marcus locked the door. pulled the dresser in front of it, gripped the gun Hawk gave him. Through the walls he heard shouting, the rumble of engines, then gunfire. Emma screamed. Marcus grabbed her, covered her ears, held her against his chest. "It's okay, baby, it's okay, I've got you, I've got you." The shooting intensified. Rapid, brutal, glass shattered somewhere in the cabin. Marcus pressed against the wall, Emma buried in his arms, gun pointed at the door. More shots. A scream. Then silence. Heavy footsteps in the hallway. "Marcus," Stone's voice. "It's over. You can come out." Marcus didn't move. "How do I know it's really you?" A pause, then "Your father called you Bug when you were little. You hated it, made him switch to Dragon." Marcus exhaled. Only Ruth knew that story. And Ruth had told Stone. He moved the dresser, unlocked the door. Stone stood there, blood on his jacket, rifle, smoking. Victor got away, took out 4 of his men, but he slipped through. "He'll be back." "Yes, he will." Stone looked at Emma, still trembling in Marcus's arms. "But not today. Today we won." Marcus looked past Stone, through the cabin, brothers tending wounds, windows shattered, bullet holes in the walls. Victory, if you could call it that. "What now?" "Now we change locations. Victor knows this place. He won't make the same mistake twice." "Where do we go?" Stone smiled grimly. "Somewhere he'll never expect." 2 hours later, they were on the road again. Not running, moving. "There's a difference," Hawk kept saying. Emma slept in the back seat, exhausted from the terror. Marcus watched her face, peaceful now, unaware of the violence that had erupted around her. Where are we going?" he asked. Hawk kept his eyes on the road. "Back to the city." "And the city, that's where Harrison is." "Exactly. Victor expects us to run further, hide deeper. Instead, we go straight into the lion's den." "That's insane." "That's strategy. The best defense is offense. Harrison thinks he's hunting us. We flip the script, make him the prey." They drove through the night, past sleeping towns and empty highways, the convoy of bikes surrounding them like a protective shell. Around 3 a.m., Marcus's phone rang. "Unknown number," he answered, said nothing. "Still alive." Victor Crane's voice was smooth, almost friendly. "I'm impressed. What do you want?" "Same thing everyone wants. Money, respect, a clean exit." Victor paused. "I don't have a personal beef with you, Marcus. Your father's been dead 30 years, ancient history." "Then walk away." "Can't do that. Harrison's paying too much, and I've got a reputation to protect." "So this is a business call," Victor laughed. "Everything's business, even family, especially family." His voice dropped. "I'm going to give you one chance. One. Walk away from Stone. Take your daughter and disappear. New name, new city, new life. I'll tell Harrison you're dead. He'll never look for you again. And if I don't, then I finish what Harrison's grandfather started. And this time I don't miss." Marcus looked at Emma sleeping beside him, at Hawk driving, at the brothers riding alongside. "My father didn't run. Neither will I." Silence, then a sigh. "Your father was stubborn too. Didn't end well for him." "Maybe not, but he died protecting the truth. I can't think of a better way to go." Victor's voice turned cold. "Then you've made your choice. See you soon, Marcus." The line went dead. Hawk glanced over. "Victor. He offered me a way out. I turned it down." "Good." Hawk's grip tightened on the wheel. "Your father would be proud." "My father's dead because of people like Victor." "Your father's a legend because of how he lived." "The dying part, that was Harrison's doing. Victor's just the weapon. Harrison's the hand." Marcus thought about this. The hand and the weapon. Both needed to be stopped. "When we get to the city, what's the plan?" "We go public. Everything, every document, every photograph, every witness statement. We blow it wide open. Harrison will fight back. Let him. The more he fights, the guiltier he looks. Stone's already got 3 news networks lined up. By this time tomorrow, the Harrison family's secrets will be everywhere." And Victor, Hawk's expression darkened. "Stone has plans for Victor. Personal ones." Marcus didn't ask what kind of plans. He didn't want to know. They reached the city at dawn. The garage looked different now. more fortified, barricades at the entrance, brothers standing guard, a war camp disguised as a business. Stone was waiting inside. You made it. Victor called me on the way. I know, we monitored it. Stone handed him a cup of coffee. You turned him down. Was there another option? There's always another option. You just chose the harder one. Stone sat down heavily. Today we end this, one way or another. How? Press conference, noon, City Hall steps. Every document goes public. Every name, every crime. Harrison won't be able to bury it. He'll try to stop us. Let him try. Stone's eyes burned. I've been waiting 20 years for this. For Victor. For Harrison. For everyone who took everything from me. He looked at Marcus. Your father started this war. You're going to help me finish it. Marcus looked at Emma asleep on a couch in the corner. Still innocent, still trusting. For her, he said quietly. I'm doing this for her. That's the only reason worth fighting for. The morning passed in controlled chaos. Brothers made calls, printed documents, coordinated with journalists and lawyers. The machine of revenge running at full speed. Emma woke around 10 a.m. Marcus made her breakfast, tried to keep things normal. Are we staying here now, Daddy? For a while. I like it here. The motorcycle men are nice. They are. Mr. Stone seems sad, though. Marcus paused. Why do you say that? His eyes, they're like yours were after Mommy died. Like there's something missing inside. 9 years old, seeing what adults tried to hide. He lost someone he loved a long time ago. His daughter, Marcus stared at her. How did you know that Mr. Bear told me? He said Mr. Stone had a little girl like me, but she went to heaven early. Marcus pulled her close. Yeah, Dragon, she did. That's why he's helping us, isn't it? Because he doesn't want another little girl to go to heaven early. God, she was smart. Too smart. That's exactly why. Emma hugged him tight. I'm not going to heaven early, Daddy. I'm staying right here with you. He held her, didn't let go for a long time. At 11:30, Stone gathered everyone. It's time. Marcus, you're staying here with Emma. Too dangerous at City Hall. I should be there. You should be alive. That's what matters. We've got enough Waver brothers to handle security. You stay here, watch the broadcast. Be ready. Ready for what? Stone didn't answer, just headed for the door. Hawk paused beside Marcus. Whatever happens, protect her. That's the mission. I will. And Marcus, Hawk pulled something from his pocket, a photograph. Old. Worn. I found this in Stone's things. Thought you should have it. Marcus looked at the picture. 2 men shaking hands. His father and Stone. Young, smiling. Brothers. They loved each other, Hawk said. Like real brothers. Stone's never been the same since Daniel died. I think helping you, it's given him something he lost. What purpose? Hawk walked out. The garage went quiet. Marcus sat with Emma, turned on the TV, and watched his father's legacy finally see the light. The press conference started at noon exactly. Stone stood at the podium, flanked by lawyers and journalists. Cameras everywhere. The whole city watching. 30 years ago, Stone began his voice carrying across the crowd. A man named Daniel Cole was murdered. He was my brother, my best friend, and he was killed because he knew too much about a family that built their empire on blood. Marcus watched the screen. Emma colored beside him, half listening. Today, I'm releasing documents that prove the Harrison family, including Director Thomas Harrison of St. Vincent Hospital, has been involved in criminal activity spanning 4 decades. Fraud, bribery, murder. The crowd erupted, reporters shouting questions, cameras flashing. Stone held up his hand. I have photographs, bank records, witness statements, everything Daniel Cole gathered before he was silenced. The truth doesn't die, it just waits. Marcus's phone buzzed. Text from an unknown number. You should have taken my offer. Victor, another text. Look outside. Marcus ran to the window. A black van sat across the street, engine running, windows tinted. His blood turned to ice. Emma, come here, now. She looked up, startled by his tone. Daddy, come here, right now. She ran to him. He grabbed her, moved away from the windows toward the back of the garage. The front door exploded inward. 3 men rushed in. Reed, Mal, Aving Ferba. Marcus fired without thinking. The first man went down. The other 2 scattered. Back room, he shouted at Emma Vow. Go! She ran. He covered her, firing blindly, buying time. A bullet tore through his shoulder. He stumbled, didn't fall. Emma screamed. He turned. A 4th man had come through the back, had Emma by the arm. Drop it, the man said, or she dies. Marcus froze. Emma was crying, terrified, looking at him with those eyes, those trusting eyes. Let her go. Drop the gun. Marcus looked at his daughter, at the man holding her, at the weapon in his own hand. His father's letter echoed. Sometimes violence is necessary, only when there's no other choice. He dropped the gun. Kick it away. He kicked it. The man smiled, pulled Emma closer. Victor sends his regards. A shot rang out. The man's head snapped back. He crumpled. Emma screamed, fell, scrambled toward Marcus. Bear stood in the doorway, rifle smoking. Go out the back now. Marcus grabbed Emma, ran through the garage, out the back door into the alley. Hawk waited with a running motorcycle. Get on. Marcus climbed on Emma between them, and they tore away from the chaos. Behind them, gunfire continued. Ahead, the city waited, and somewhere in the shadows, Victor Crane watched his plan fall apart. The motorcycle screamed through back alleys. Emma clung to Marcus, face buried against his chest, tears soaking through his shirt. His shoulder burned where the bullet had torn through, blood soaking his sleeve, but he didn't feel it. Didn't feel anything except his daughter's heartbeat against his. Hawk drove like a man possessed, weaving, dodging, disappearing into the maze of streets he knew by memory. Where are we going? Marcus shouted over the engine. Safe house. Other side of the city. Victor doesn't know about it. You sure? Nobody knows about it. Not even Stone. They rode for 20 minutes. The sirens faded behind them. The chaos of the garage became a distant nightmare. Finally, Hawk pulled into an underground parking structure. Killed the engine. Silence. Emma was still crying, small, quiet sobs that broke Marcus's heart. It's okay, Dragon. We're safe now. The bad men, gone. They can't hurt us here. She looked up at him, those big eyes red from tears full of terror. You got shot, Daddy. He looked at his shoulder. Still bleeding, starting to throb now that the adrenaline was fading. It's just a scratch. It's not a scratch. There's blood everywhere. Hawk was already moving. He pulled a first aid kit from a hidden compartment and handed it to Marcus. Patch yourself up. I'll make some calls. Stone's still at the press conference. The attack on the garage didn't stop the broadcast. Everyone saw everything. Hawk's expression was grim. Harrison's done. The evidence is out. Now it's just cleanup. What kind of cleanup? Hawk didn't answer, just walked away, phone to his ear. Marcus sat Emma on a concrete barrier, knelt in front of her. I need you to be brave for me. Can you do that? She nodded, still crying, but listening. I have to fix my arm. It might look scary, but I'm going to be fine. I need you to hold my hand. Can you do that? She grabbed his hand, squeezed tight. Marcus used his teeth to tear open the gauze. The bullet had gone clean through entry and exit. Painful, but not fatal. He packed the wound, wrapped it tight, clenched his jaw against the fire. Emma watched every second, didn't look away. See all better. It's not all better. You need a doctor. Doctors can wait. You're more important. She hugged him, careful not to touch his shoulder. I was so scared, Daddy. I know, baby. I was scared too. You were terrified, but you shot the bad man anyway. He pulled back, looked at her. I had to protect you. That's what fathers do. Like Grandpa Daniel. The question hit him in the chest. Yeah, Dragon, like Grandpa Daniel. Hawk returned. Stone's on his way. 20 minutes. He's bringing reinforcements. What about Victor? Disappeared again, but we wounded 2 of his men. They'll talk. Hawk looked at Marcus's shoulder. You good? I'll live. That's the spirit. They waited in silence. Emma eventually stopped crying, exhaustion taking over. She fell asleep in Marcus's lap, head against his chest, breathing slow and steady. Marcus watched her. This little girl who'd been through hell and somehow kept trusting. Kept believing her daddy could fix anything. He had to make sure he could. Stone arrived in exactly 20 minutes. Climbed out of his truck looking like he'd aged 10 years. But his eyes were alive, burning. Marcus, Stone. The broadcast worked. Harrison's finished. FBI's already moving. Arrest warrants being processed as we speak. And Victor, Stone's expression darkening. That's why I'm here. He pulled out his phone, showed Marcus a photo. A warehouse on the docks, industrial, abandoned. Victor's there. We tracked his wounded men. They led us right to him. You're going after him. I've been waiting 20 years for this. Stone looked at Emma asleep in Marcus's arms. Stay here with her, I want her. This doesn't involve you anymore. The hell it doesn't. Marcus stood carefully cradling Emma. Victor came for my daughter. He tried to kill her. That makes it my fight too. You're wounded. You've got a child to protect. Then protect her while I'm gone. Stone blinked. What? You've got 20 brothers here. Keep Emma safe. I'm coming with you. Marcus, my father didn't hide when trouble came. Neither will I. Stone studied him for a long moment. Something shifted in his face. Respect. Recognition. Daniel said that once, exact same words. Maybe it's genetic. Stone almost smiled. Hawk, stay with the girl. Anyone comes near her, you know what to do. Hawk nodded, took Emma from Marcus's arms. She stirred but didn't wake. I'll guard her with my life, Hawk said. Marcus kissed Emma's forehead, whispered, I'll be back. Dragon, I promise, bye. He followed Stone to the truck. They drove through the city as night fell, streets empty, the world holding its breath. The press conference, Marcus said. What happened after I left? Chaos. Harrison tried to shut it down, sent lawyers, police, everyone he had in his pocket, but it was too late. The documents were already being broadcast. Every network, every website. His family's crimes laid bare for the whole world to see. He must be desperate. Desperate men make mistakes. Harrison's already made his biggest one, which is hiring Victor. Stone's grip tightened on the wheel. Victor Crane doesn't leave witnesses. When this is over, Harrison becomes a liability. Victor won't let him talk. You think Victor will kill him? I think Victor kills everyone eventually. That's who he is. They pulled onto the docks, industrial wasteland, abandoned buildings looming like dead giants. 20 motorcycles were already waiting, brothers armed and ready. Stone climbed out, addressed his men. Victor's inside, he's got maybe 6 men left. We go in hard, we go in fast, we don't stop until it's done. He looked at Marcus. You stay behind me, whatever happens. Stone, whatever happens, Marcus, I'm not losing Daniel's son tonight. They moved toward the warehouse, silent, deadly, shadows in the darkness. Bear took point, hand signals guiding the others into position. Marcus's heart pounded. His shoulder screamed, but he kept moving. They reached the main entrance. Bear held up a fist. Everyone stopped. Voices inside, low, urgent. Stone nodded. Bear kicked in the door. Chaos erupted. Gunfire from both sides. Muzzle flashes splitting the darkness. Men shouting, bodies falling. Marcus dove behind a steel pillar. Fired at shadows. Hit nothing. Fired again. A man rushed at him. Marcus dropped him with 2 shots to the chest. More shooting, more screaming, then silence. Clear, Bear's voice echoed through the space. Marcus stood up, looked around. Bodies everywhere. Victor's men, all down. But no Victor. Stone ran toward the back. He's running. They chased him through the warehouse, through narrow corridors and rusted machinery, following the sound of footsteps. They burst through a back door. Victor stood at the edge of the dock, water behind him, nowhere to run. He turned slowly, hands raised, smiling. Stone, been a while. Not long enough. 20 years you've been hunting me. 20 years. Must be exhausting. It ends tonight. Victor laughed, cold, empty. Does it? You think killing me changes anything? Harrison's got 100 lawyers. He'll walk. They always walk. Harrison won't live long enough to walk anywhere. True, I was going to handle that myself, clean up loose ends. Victor's eyes slid to Marcus. But you brought the coal boy, Daniel's son, the one who started all this trouble. Marcus stepped forward. You tried to kill my daughter. Nothing personal, business. She's 9 years old. Age is just a number. Victor shrugged. I've killed younger. Stone's gun came up. Don't. Victor shook his head. You kill me, you never find out where Harrison is right now. And trust me, you want to know. Why, Mom? Because he's about to disappear. Private jet, false passport. By morning, he'll be in a country with no extradition. You'll never touch him. Stone hesitated. You're lying. Maybe, but can you afford that chance? Victor's smile widened. Here's my offer. Same one I gave your boy there. Let me walk. I tell you where Harrison is. You get your revenge, I get my life. Marcus watched Stone's face. The war raging behind those ancient eyes. 20 years of pain, of hunting, of waiting. Where is he, Podium? Do we have a deal? Stone lowered his gun. Stone, no. Marcus grabbed his arm. He killed your daughter. He tried to kill mine. You can't let him walk. I know what he is. Stone's voice was ice. I know what he's done. But if Harrison escapes, if he gets away with everything, it was all for nothing. Daniel died for nothing. Sarah died for nothing. Then we find another way. There is no other way. Stone looked at Victor. Talk. Victor's smile turned triumphant. Private airfield, 30 miles north. Harrison's there now with his security team. Plane leaves in 2 hours. How do I know you're telling the truth? You don't, but I've got no reason to lie. Harrison dead means nothing to me. You dead means nothing to me. All I want is out. Stone stared at him for a long moment. Then he raised his gun and shot Victor in the knee. Victor screamed, collapsed, clutching his leg. What the hell? That's for my daughter. Stone walked toward him, calm, controlled. The deal was information for your life. I didn't say what condition that life would be in. He shot Victor in the other knee, more screaming, blood pooling on the dock. Stone, Marcus stepped forward. Stay back. Stone stood over Victor. 20 years I dreamed about this moment. Every night, every single night. You took my little girl. You took her, and you didn't even remember. Victor was sobbing now, all pretense of control gone. Please. Did Sarah beg? Did she say please? Stone's voice cracked. She was 7 years old. She was playing in the yard. She never hurt anyone. I didn't know. You didn't care. Stone pressed the gun against Victor's forehead. Say her name. What? Say her name. Shra. Her name was Shra. Tears streamed down Stone's face. His whole body was shaking, finger tight on the trigger. Marcus didn't move, didn't speak. This wasn't his moment. I wanted to be there, Stone whispered. When she needed me, I was on a job, 100 miles away. By the time I got back, he couldn't finish. Victor closed his eyes, waiting for death. Stone stood there, gun pressed against flesh, 20 years of rage in his finger. And then he lowered the weapon. Victor's eyes flew open. What? Sarah wouldn't want this. Stone stepped back. She wouldn't want her daddy to be a murderer, even for her. You're letting me live. I'm letting you suffer. Stone nodded to Bear. Take him. Find somewhere dark and quiet. Make sure he spends the rest of his life regretting every breath he takes. Bear grabbed Victor, dragged him away. The screaming continued until it faded into the night. Stone stood alone at the edge of the dock, staring at the water. Marcus approached slowly. Stone. My wife left me after Sarah died. Couldn't stand the sight of me. Said I reminded her of everything we lost. Stone's voice was hollow. I've been alone ever since. Just the club, just the road, just the hate keeping me alive. You did the right thing. Did I? Stone turned. His eyes were red, lost. Victor lives in some form. That's not justice, Waish. Justice isn't always death. Sometimes it's worse, one. Stone considered this, then nodded slowly. We need to move. Harrison's still out there. Then let's finish it. They rode north, 20 bikes roaring through the night. Marcus in the back of Stone's truck, shoulder bandaged but throbbing. His phone buzzed. Text from Hawk. Emma's awake. Asking for you. She's okay. Worried. Marcus typed back, almost done. Tell her daddy's coming home. She says bring ice cream. He almost laughed. The world was burning and his daughter wanted ice cream. God, he loved that kid. The airfield appeared through the darkness. Small, private, a single jet on the runway engines warming. That's him, Stone said. Harrison's making his run. Security, 6 men, maybe more. Can we take them? Only one way to find out. They hit the airfield like a storm, motorcycles splitting up, surrounding the jet, cutting off escape routes. Harrison's men opened fire. The brothers fired back. Marcus stayed behind the truck, watched the chaos unfold. Then he saw him. Harrison, running toward the jet, briefcase in hand, face twisted with fear. Marcus moved before he could think. He sprinted across the tarmac, tackled Harrison from behind. They went down hard, rolling across asphalt. Harrison swung the briefcase, caught Marcus in the jaw. Marcus punched back, once, twice, blood flying. Harrison scrambled for something in his pocket. A gun, small, silver. Marcus grabbed his wrist, twisted. The gun clattered away. You killed my father. Marcus pinned him down. You destroyed my family. For what? Money, power. He was going to ruin everything. Harrison's voice was desperate. My grandfather built an empire. Daniel Cole was going to tear it down. Your empire was built on corpses. Everyone's empire is built on corpses. That's how the world works. Marcus stared at him. This man, this pathetic, desperate man. He'd been afraid of Harrison for weeks, months, his whole life without knowing it. And now here he was, just flesh and blood, just fear and greed. My father was a good man. He helped people. He saved your life when you were 12 years old. Harrison flinched. Yeah, I know about that. I know he pulled you out of that car. I know he saved you and your grandfather thanked him with bullets. I didn't have a choice. There's always a choice. You just made the wrong ones, every time. Stone appeared beside them, gun drawn. Police are on their way. Harrison's finished. Let me go. Harrison was begging now. I have money, millions. I can make you rich, both of you. Stone laughed, cold, humorless. You think this was about money? Everything's about money. Not this. Stone knelt down, got in Harrison's face. This was about family, something you will never understand. Sirens in the distance, red and blue lights approaching. Stone stood. Let them take him. Let him rot in a cell for the rest of his life. Let him watch everything he built get torn apart piece by piece. Marcus released Harrison. Step back. FBI agents swarmed the airfield. Harrison was handcuffed, read his rights, thrown into the back of a black SUV. As they drove him away, Harrison looked back once. His eyes met Marcus's. And in that moment, Harrison understood. He'd spent 30 years destroying one family. Now his own would be destroyed. The wheel had turned. Marcus stood on the tarmac, watched the SUV disappear. It was over. Finally, impossibly, it was over. Stone put a hand on his shoulder. You did good tonight. We did good. Your father would have been proud. You keep saying that. Because it's true. Stone turned him around. Look at what you built in 3 weeks. A family, a legacy, a future. That's not nothing, Marcus. That's everything. Marcus thought about Emma, about the garage, about the brothers who'd risked their lives for a man they barely knew. What happens now? Now you go home, hug your daughter, sleep for a week. Stone smiled, tired but genuine. And when you wake up, you open that garage. You build something real, something that lasts. And I've got some things to finish. Victor, the club, loose ends. Stone looked at the sky, first hints of dawn breaking. But when it's done, I think I'll take some time. Visit Sarah's grave. Haven't been in years. I'm sorry about everything. Don't be sorry, be better. Stone gripped his arm. Your father gave me 30 years of brotherhood. You've given me something else. What? Hope. Stone's voice cracked. I forgot what that felt like. Thanks for reminding me. Marcus didn't know what to say, so he just hugged him. This old warrior who'd lost everything and kept fighting anyway. Thank you, Marcus whispered, for all of it. Thank your father. He's the one who started this. They rode back to the city as the sun rose. Marcus sat in Stone's truck watching the world wake up, golden light spilling across rooftops, people starting their days unaware that a war had ended while they slept. His phone buzzed. Hawk. Emma's demanding pancakes. I told her we don't have any. She said that's unacceptable. Her word. Marcus smiled, first real smile in what felt like forever. Tell her I'm on my way, and tell her to practice her dragon roar. I want to hear it when I walk in. You got it, brother. Brother, that's what Hawk called him. Brother, family wasn't just blood. It was choice, it was showing up, it was standing beside someone when the world was burning. Marcus had found his family, and he was never letting go. They pulled into the safe house. Marcus climbed out, shoulder-screaming legs barely holding him up. Didn't matter. None of it mattered. Emma was waiting at the door. The moment she saw him, she launched herself forward. Daddy! He caught her, lifted her, ignored the fire in his shoulder. Hey, dragon. You came back. I promised, didn't I? You're hurt worse. She touched his face. New cuts, new bruises. Daddy, I'm okay, baby. Everything's okay now. Did you get the bad men? Yeah, dragon. We got them all. She buried her face in his neck. I was so scared. I know, but you were brave. So brave. I tried to be like you. You're better than me, Emma. You've always been better. They stood there holding each other while the sun rose and the world kept turning. 3 months later, Cole's garage was packed. Bikers lined up outside waiting for service. Locals dropped by just to say hello. Emma's drawings covered the front window, flames and motorcycles, and a little girl holding her daddy's hand. Marcus stood at the workbench, hands covered in grease, smiling at nothing in particular. You got a customer, Bear's voice from the front. Send them in. Footsteps. Marcus looked up and froze. A woman stood there, late 30s, blonde hair, eyes he recognized from somewhere he couldn't place. Can I help you? Are you Marcus Cole? That's me. She stepped closer. My name is Sarah Harrison, Thomas Harrison's daughter. Marcus's heart stopped. What do you want? To apologize. Her voice cracked. For everything my family did. To your father. To you. To everyone. Your family tried to kill my daughter. I know. Tears streamed down her face. I didn't know about any of it until the trial, the documents, the history. I thought my father was a good man. I thought she couldn't continue. Marcus watched her. This woman, carrying the weight of sins she didn't commit. It's not your fault. It doesn't matter. I benefited from it. My whole life, everything I had came from blood money. She pulled an envelope from her purse. I'm giving it all away, every cent, starting with this. She held it out. Marcus didn't take it. It's a check for the Children's Hospital downtown, in your father's name, Daniel Cole Pediatric Wing. Marcus's breath caught. I can't undo what happened, but I can make sure his name means something good, something lasting. Sarah wiped her eyes. Will you accept it? Please, Marcus looked at the envelope, at this woman who'd lost everything because of what her family had done. Kindness and stubbornness. That's what his father believed in. He took the envelope. He took the inchimo. Thank you. Thank you for not throwing me out. You're not your father. We don't get to choose our blood, only what we do with it. Sarah nodded, started to leave, stopped. He talked about you, your father, to mine. Years ago when I was little, said you were the best thing that ever happened to him. Marcus couldn't speak. I thought you should know. She walked out. Marcus stood there holding the envelope, tears rolling down his cheeks. Some doors close forever. Others open when you least expect it. That night, Marcus sat on the garage roof with Emma. Stars everywhere, city lights below. The world peaceful and quiet. Daddy, yay dragon. What happens now? What do you mean all the bad stuff is over? So what happens now? Marcus thought about it. The garage, the brothers, the future stretching ahead of them. Now we live, baby. We help people. We fix things that are broken. We make good memories. Like the motorcycle men. Like family. Emma leaned against him. I like that. Me too. She was quiet for a moment. Then, Daddy, yeah, I think Grandpa Daniel is watching us. From the stars. Marcus looked up. Millions of lights in the darkness, each one a possibility. You know what, Dragon, I think you are right. Do you think he's proud of you? Marcus thought about everything that had happened. The water bottle, the firing, the bikers at his door, the war he never asked for, and the family he found along the way. Yeah, baby, I think he's proud. Good, Emma yawned. I'm proud of you too. She fell asleep against his shoulder. His little dragon, his whole world. Marcus sat there watching the stars, holding his daughter, finally at peace. His father had died protecting the truth. His mother had died protecting him. Now it was his turn to protect the next generation. And he would, with everything he had, for as long as he breathed. That's what family meant. That's what legacy looked like. A man helps a stranger in the darkness, loses everything, gains something greater. 53 motorcycles, one little girl, an endless road ahead. Some stories end with death. This one ended with life. Marcus Cole wasn't a hero. He was just a man who didn't look away when the world told him to. A man who gave water to a bleeding stranger and received a kingdom in return. Kindness isn't weakness. It's the strongest thing there is. And sometimes, just sometimes, it changes everything. The garage stayed open. The brothers kept riding. Emma kept drawing dragons. And every morning when Marcus walked through those doors, he touched the photograph on the wall. His father, young, smiling, covered in grease. Thanks, Dad, he'd whisper. For everything? The ghost never answered. But Marcus knew he was listening. He was always listening. And that was enough. If you've ever helped someone without expecting anything back, remember this: the world notices. It always notices. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but kindness echoes. It ripples through time. It touches people you'll never meet. So help the stranger. Give the water. Do the right thing even when no one's watching. Because someone is always watching. And sometimes that someone rides a Harley.